Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, thank you, Fox News. I'm going to read your article here. Church of Scientology is a criminal enterprise that should face mafia-like RICO charges lawsuit. A little bit evasive there. The Church of Scientology called the lawsuits, forget that. If the video starts, I'm going to try to stop that. The Church of Scientology is a criminal enterprise that uses celebrities like actor Danny Masterson to advance mafia-like racketeering, a recently filed lawsuit alleges. Many of Scientology's criminal enterprises' money-making schemes are criminal in nature, the lawsuit alleges. Did you hear that, LAPD? It routinely and systematically engages in fraud, human trafficking, identity theft, and money laundering to fill its coffers and enrich its leadership. Let's not forget child SA, adult SA, covering up of sexual abuse, and elder abuse. To protect high-profile members, Scientology leaders like OSA, Mike Rinder, allegedly retaliate against outspoken victims or witnesses with threats, extortion, identity theft, arson, and different types of fraud, according to the complaint. The Church of Scientology called the lawsuit's allegations against the church cult and its leadership outrageous. They always have the greatest responses, don't they? They never deny it because they know it's true. I've heard this so many times, complete fabrications. I'm going to pass on all that Danny Masterson stuff. I mean, it's just, we get it. In exchange for celebrity support, money, Scientology leaders were accused of covering up. Oh, Scientology leaders like OSA and what's the other? I forget that other organization group. Accused of covering up crimes like they allegedly did for that 70s show star Masterson, while allowing the abuser to continue to torment victims according to the lawsuit. Similar to how they covered up Miriam Francis's abuse. The Church of Scientology said in its emailed response that the lawsuit is nothing but an attempted money grab. Oh, where have we heard the money grab statement before? That sounds like what Mike Rinder always says. Danny Masterson sentenced to 30 years in prison for forcible rape. I think more people should have been brought up on charges with that too. These statements are twisted, obscene. This is not even a news report. Okay, I'm gonna definitely put this article link in the description. I'm gonna bypass all the silliness, crazy gaslighting statements that Scientology makes. The emailed statement is a sharp contrast to the bleak picture painted by an amended harassment lawsuit, which was filed in Los Angeles court on December 27th. It describes the use of a fair game policy to ruin Scientology's enemies, which include law enforcement, prosecutors, journalists, and elected officials. The undisputed and unquestioned leader of the alleged criminal enterprise is David Miscavige, who is the chairman of the board of the Religious Technology Center. Well, all of his little minions and officers need to be prosecuted as well. Miscavige and other leaders of Scientology allegedly don't allow members to have phones capable of dialing 911 or to make calls without using a code that allows leaders to track the calls, according to the lawsuit. As we remember Lisa McPherson. The legal action details other disturbing allegations and uses Masterson's case as one example of the alleged rampant crime that's been covered up. No mention of the essays on these children locked up in those buildings. The accusers who brought the lawsuit implored the LA courts to pursue racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organizations Act, or RICO charges used to tear down the mafia. Enemies allegedly fall under Scientology's so-called fair game policy, although the term is not officially used anymore, which includes haunting enemies of Scientology through concrete action, the lawsuit says, otherwise known as intimidation tactics. That includes surveillance, private investigators, and releasing information. Oh, by the way, a lot of those investigators are retired police officers or former police officers. And releasing information that will damage the individual's professional and private reputation, regardless of the truth of the information disseminated. Procedures instruct followers to ruin the individual utterly, according to the lawsuit. Yeah, to find a person's ruin. Defendants implement fair game in a variety of different ways, all with the single objective to harm and destroy anyone who they have deemed an enemy of Scientology, and with the ultimate goal of shuddering them into silence, obliterating them, and ruining them utterly, the lawsuit alleges. That's a policy. Okay, there is Leah Remini's. I think that's a tweet. After 17 years of harassment, intimidation, surveillance, and defamation, I am filing a lawsuit against Scientology and David Miscavige. While advocating for victims of Scientology has significantly impacted my life, I'm not going to read that because I'm not going to read the rest because I don't have Twitter. The fair game tactics didn't stop the judicial system from convicting Masterson on two counts of rape, and there were some other charges that he just got away with, basically, and sentencing him to 30 years in prison. They probably just couldn't prove it or something. Okay, guys, I'm going to scroll a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm glad Masterson went to prison, but I'm often getting the feeling that it's always a distraction because there are way more victims. And I prefer to call them survivors. I'm going to try to work on that. They deserve justice. And the children in those buildings right now, hotels and other buildings, right now, they're being essayed and physically assaulted and abused, used for manual labor. They need justice too.